Вы услышите мнение самой мудрой книги человечества – Библии, о самых сложных проблемах, стоящих перед современным миром. Присылайте ваши вопросы заранее на наш email info@rusa.fm или во время передачи по СМС 347 460 0877.
Добрый день всем, кто сейчас настроен на радио РУСА. В эфире моя самая любимая передача Thank God It's Tuesday. Меня зовут Анна Пекерман, а раввин, с которым эта передача возможна и действительно феноменально, светла, позитивна и очень-очень мудра, это раввин Маниса Фридман, который вот это время дает нам, чтобы его провести разумно, мудро и со смыслом. Сегодня раввин Маниса Фридман, к сожалению, не сможет с нами быть через Skype, он где-то вдалеке, и мы можем его вывести только по телефону, поэтому я это сейчас сделаю с радостью, он уже ждет нас, и я думаю, что он уже теперь нас слышит. Hello, Rabbi Manis Friedman, can you hear me?
I hear you.
Fantastic, and we can hear you. And you see, this almost didn't happen, but there's no chance we would miss an opportunity to speak with you and to get some really incredible insights, wisdom, and boy, do we need it now more than ever. I say this every week, and I mean it every week. So pretty much I can say that the gig is up. Whether people want to realize it, don't want to realize it, whether they agree with it, deny it, want to talk about it, don't want to talk about it, the truth is out, the gig is up, and the question is, where is justice? So this would be the big question of today's program, to say that, yes, the truth is out, maybe not everyone has accepted it, but it's out, but we don't see that justice is anywhere feasible. And during our last program, we spoke that, you know, when certain things were discussed about truth being out, and you said that, well, an apology would be nice. And I thought about it hard and long, and no, apologies would not be nice. Justice would be nice. So the question is, where is justice? Can we expect it anytime soon?
Okay. Very good. And what is the truth that is out? We'll do it online.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, everybody has their own truth, and this is another big part that I want to discuss a little bit further down the show today, you know, further down the line today with you. Hopefully we'll have time. Yeah, but things are being revealed, and, you know, we can be in denial about them. We can believe them. We don't want to believe so many things. I mean, the things that are coming out, they're unbelievable, and nobody wants to believe them. I don't want to believe them, but they're happening, and they're facts, and they're evidence. And like 2,000 Mules, for instance, you know, about how the election has been stolen. They're pretty good evidence there. Again, has it been accepted? Are people accepting it? Some are believing it. Some are appalled by it. Some are, you know, there are definitely very many points of views out there. The Durham report, the things that are in that report, if an average person did something remotely close to what people are doing in Washington, they would be locked up for life. The people in Washington doesn't seem to be phasing them. So this is the big question. It seems like a lot of things are out, and they should be at least investigated. They should be at least taken a lot more seriously, but really not even that so much. And it's taking very, very, you know, when something is wrong, okay, maybe it's not true, but please find out. And even that is not really happening with the kind of enthusiasm that, you know, would be good to get at this point. You know, too many questions, not enough answers.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's do it.
Please. Everything depends on you right now, Rabbi Friedman, counting on you.
Okay.
You're on. Hello, Rabbi Friedman?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're on the air.
Okay, so what's your good news for this week?
Good news is, thank God, the health is all, intact, and we're on the air.
Barely.
Counting omers, trying to keep it together. The sun is shining, so there's a lot of great things happening out there, but there's a lot of concerning things that are hard to understand how to cope with and how to, live this every day that is sunny and healthy, thank God. But how do we live it not seeing, not seeing truth, I don't know, it's not even seeing the truth. It's kind of like, it's hard. People are in disagreement. You don't know what to talk to anybody. I mean, we're at war, Rabbi Friedman. I'm sorry to say this, but we are at war. I mean, we're at war even when we say something to somebody that offends them. That's kind of a weapon there that, and everything is offending to everybody right now. So, basically just living every day hoping for everything to come clean already, to stop being so messy, so complicated, so covered, so unjust, basically. I'm just still going back to the same thing. Where is the justice? Where is the justice of our time?
Yeah. Very good questions. I wish more people were asking it. That would be an improvement too.
Do we have answers? What does Torah say about all of these things? I mean, what is justice?
There's the question.
Yeah.
We all have an idea of what we would like to see happen, that we would call justice. But we never know, because there are so many better ideas than the ones we have. So what kind of justice would justify everything that has happened? I don't know. It's huge. So the belief, the trust that God runs the world, which obviously he does because nobody else is running it, what exactly does he have in store? What does he have in mind? In other words, how great can justice be? We think punish the guilty, reward the innocent or the worthy. Okay, that's justice. That would be nice. But is that it? It's like terrible things happen and then they correct themselves. And we're content with that? I hope not. Every time we go through difficulties, we have to come out a lot better than before, not just correct the balance and go back to business as usual. So, along with everything else that is happening, I think people have the insight or the very strong impression that something is changing that is really fundamental. Some shift in the universe, not just send the bad guys to jail, and then what? And then we're back to looking for some good people to be responsible, to fill responsible positions, and who knows how corrupt they become after a year or two. We're looking for something much, much greater than we have traditionally called justice. And that's what we mean by Mashiach. Mashiach doesn't mean everything becomes good, because, what's good? Mashiach means everything becomes godly. And godly cannot be corrupted. So all through history, we had some good times. We've had a few good presidents, a few good administrations. But, looking back at it, how good was it? We want something much better than that this time around. So it is really time for Mashiach. And not based on religious faith. Just based on the weariness with going through these steps again and again. And enough already. And the world is ready. The world really is ready. We just don't know how to make it happen. So we feel a little helpless. But we got to set our goals a little higher than just let's have a good political system, whether it's here or in Russia or wherever. So yes, we all want justice, but we want something divinely just, not more of the same that we've had before.
100%, Rabbi Friedman. But for now, at least a little earthly justice would be nice, for people who are creating havoc and chaos and lying and lies and corruption, for at least them for now to go away, to stop doing all of this, to stop being in positions of they are in position, and they are in position to do whatever they're doing at this particular time of our lives.
Yeah. Well, there's a danger that if a little bit of justice happens, we're going to become content again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Stop the real thing.
So you're saying it's best that it keeps on going and evolving and kind of becomes very, very suffocating, because I think this is the right word, that this injustice is kind of suffocating the people who are seeing it. Is that something that will bring Mashiach faster?
It is. It is bringing Mashiach. And besides, we don't have enough jail space for all the people. It's not one or two people. It's a whole lot of people. In other words, it's the world itself. The condition of the world has to be altered. Not a little adjustment. It needs a total recreation. And that's what's coming. And we can't lose sight of that. We can't settle for anything less. We have to demand it from God, expect it from God, because anything less than that would be an injustice.
I think the biggest fear right now is not how worse things are going to get, even though that's pretty scary, but the fact that Mashiach is not going to come anytime soon. I think that's a much greater fear for those who kind of, for those who are waiting for him and who has been waiting for him. How do we get patient? What do we do, or shouldn't we get patient? I know we spoke about it, but since everything is elevating, I feel like it's a good idea to revisit this topic.
Yeah, waiting is not a good thing. It produces a lot of anxiety. And eventually you grow tired of waiting. No, we've got to act proactive. We've got to be doing something, even little things, the things that we can control and do. But we have to feel like we're busy. Otherwise, despair settles in. So we have to be, each of us, we have to be a tiny Mashiach in our own environment, which means to encourage people in their optimism, in their expectations, and in their deeds. We need to act as if Mashiach were here. What would we be busy with? Instead of wringing our hands and worrying about how much worse the world can become, what would we be doing if Mashiach was here? That's how we have to behave.
We spoke about this one before too.
Yeah.
We don't really know what we will be doing when Mashiach is here. So how do we act it out now?
Okay, but there is the part that we do know. If Mashiach was here, would we allow a person to go hungry and do nothing about it? Of course not. Not that people will be going hungry, but so if the world was normal, or let's just put it in simple language. If none of these problems existed, what would I be doing today?
Spending time with the family.
Yeah, whatever the answer is, that's what we should be doing. So we've got to get ahead of the curve, so to speak, and start to act like Mashiach is here.
We need a better idea. It's a hard one. You just asked me this, and really, and everybody, this is pretty much where people get stumped. What if everything was taken care of? What would you be busy with? This is a very, very hard, when something is bad and you can try to fix it, help somebody, be positive, optimistic, give kindness. But if there's no need for any of it, what are we to do? What are we going to be busy with?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So that question we don't have an answer for, because we've never been there. We've never had a world without problems. So, like we mentioned before, we are the last generation of exile and the first generation of Geula, of redemption, and being in between with one foot in exile and in darkness and one foot in light, it's a little confusing. More confusing than if it was all one or the other. So we don't know what it's going to be like when everything is truly perfect. But to the best of our imagination, if we were not busy worrying, what would we do? Or somebody wrote a book, If You Were Not Afraid. There's that popular book.
Never read it.
Yeah.
And
What would you do?
See, that's another stumper. If we don't have things to worry about or afraid of, then what do we do? How do we live? Because we've never lived like that before, and that's a very, very difficult question to answer. And I think it must be answered. Otherwise, we don't know what we're going towards.
Exactly. This is a perfect description of what's happening today. And the transition, the great change that has to happen, is that we have to go from a world motivated by problems and needs to a world motivated by goodness, godliness. That's not just a little bit of justice. That's recreating the world. That is a dramatic change. And yes, that's what we need to really focus on. Can we continue functioning on hunger, on need, on danger, on jealousy, competition? This is how the world has been for as long as anybody knows. Is this permanent? Is this going to go on forever like this?
I think everyone is praying for it not to, but this is the whole thing. I don't know what's more fearful, for things to continue, coming up, the truth revealing, or for little fixer-uppers, not something like what we're saying about like the whole world changing its core. Rabbi Fridman, in the meantime, this is great. I don't know if, I don't know if we can, I'd like to continue, and trying to figure out weekly with you, with your help, obviously, of can we even imagine this good world? I mean, are we so sunk into what is everything that we've been taught and conditioned to believe that can we even find that? Is that information somewhere within us that we can actually imagine ourselves in a perfect place and understanding our place in that perfect world? So hopefully we can continue discussing it, because that seems to be the most difficult topic at this point of our life. And we still do have to cope with everything that is happening to us on a daily basis. And the problem is that right now, more than ever, this truth aspect that we are, that we need to somehow find our, somehow live our life, not knowing, understanding where the truth is, who is saying the truth, not to have fights with our loved ones or disagreements at workplace or with friends about what's real, what's not, what's true, and what is not true. How do we live in this environment? I don't think the world has ever encountered this. I'd like to actually bring an example about the Roe v. Wade situation that we're going through right now, and the fact checkers, because I just wanted to see what the fact checkers are saying about, about where the Jewish people stand on this issue. I kind of know, but I just want to see what, where the fact checkers stand on this one. And I did go on the most popular site as far as fact checking is concerned. It's Snopes.com. And guess what? Apparently, abortion is not against Jewish beliefs, Jewish laws. I had no idea about that. Would that be true, Rabbi Fridman?
No, it's not at all true.
It's not?
No.
Okay. See, on the fact-checking site, this is what it says. Abortion access is part of a comprehensive health care. It's actually, okay, overturning Roe versus Wade will not stop abortion. Am I reading the right thing? I have so many things here. Okay, so I think I apologize, wrong paragraph. Here it is. No, life does not begin at conception under Jewish law. This is what Snopes says. Sources in Talmud note that the fetus is mere water before 40 days of gestation. Following this period, the fetus is considered a physical part of the pregnant individual's body, not yet having life of its own or independent rights. The fetus is not reviewed as separate from the parent's body until birth begins, and the first breath of oxygen into the lungs allows the soul to enter the body. This is from Snopes, from fact-checking. How truthful or accurate is it?
No, it's very misleading.
Okay.
Now, the question is this. When does life begin? That's a ridiculous question. Life does not begin, ever. Well, it began when God created Adam and Eve. It has not begun again since then. It has continued. You cannot make life, you can only continue life. So the question of when does life begin is a red herring. It's just a distraction. It means absolutely nothing. The question is, when has life established itself to the point where it's considered murder to end that life? So, number one, preventing life from happening is already a sin. Even before there's a conception. Sterilizing a person is a sin because you're preventing life from continuing. So certainly once a pregnancy happens and you interfere with that, you are preventing life from happening. Is it murder? That's a technicality. That's a legal definition, not a factual definition. Because even a full-grown human being, well established as a living being, if you kill him in self-defense, it's not murder. If you kill a fetus in self-defense, it's not murder. But that's a question of how we define murder, not how we define life. In fact, we can't define life. It's too big a mystery. So life continues in every living being. The definition of murder is what we're looking for. But it is certainly a sin even when it's not murder. But right in the beginning of the Torah, right in the beginning of creation, one of the first things that God told human beings is, he who sheds blood of man within man, his blood should be shed. In other words, if you kill a person, you are punishable by death. But what is this expression? The blood of man within man. That's a fetus. So by strict biblical definition, killing a fetus is murder. Now comes the legal wrangling of murder one. Is it, can you prove that this fetus would have been viable and would have continued living? Maybe it would have died on its own anyway. But that it's a living human being, there's no question. So that's misleading.
And that's the whole point, Rabbi Friedman. Everything is so misleading in absolutely every area of life right now. I wanted to bring this because, again, this is, we are about to have a ministry of truth. Not sure what that ministry is going to be doing in the White House administration. We have these fact-checking sites that people go to understand where the truth is, when they read something on the internet and they don't know how to treat it. And everybody has a very, very different opinion. It's just, it's absolutely two-sided. There's one side and there's another side to absolutely everything that we are going through in life right now. There's not one single common denominator on anything that is happening in the world today, and people have polar opinions. And that's why it kind of feels like a war, because when you say something to another person that is not what that person believes in, that could hurt that person. So we can hurt people with news, with opinions, with everything. And unfortunately, I'm speaking right now, from the point of a media. On one hand, we want to give people information, but on the other hand, that information might not be the right information, or again, and it can hurt someone somewhere. So at this point, what should we do when it comes to this not understanding what's real, what's not, what's truthful and what's not truthful in treatment of each other, in interaction with each other, with the world, and with everything that's out there? On one hand, you want to protect the people by giving them information, but on the other hand, you don't want to hurt them because tomorrow all of this might be false and fake, but yet everybody is kind of pushing it from different sides.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's why we've been talking all these for 2 years, I think, that the only thing we can be sure of is that there are going to be surprises. So taking an inflexible position and saying, this is the truth, don't do that to yourself and don't do that to others, because we got to wait and see. We don't know. Life is full of surprises in these last 2 years, 3 years. So, to become rigid in your views is so inappropriate these days, and you just make a fool of yourself in the end anyway. So the question is not.
So sorry about that.
It's not, do I know the facts? Do I know what's happening? Do I know what's desirable? Can I do something good? And that is without doubt. So when everything else is doubtful, we go back to what we're best at, and that is making good choices. Even when we're in doubt, even when we have no idea what's going on out there, we still know right from wrong, and we're still capable of making that choice. So that's why we need, just psychologically even, besides morally, we just need to focus on how much of a Mashiach can I be? Then you're on solid grounds, and very good grounds, nice ground. So to sit and predict what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, who's doing what, no, we don't really know. Nobody knows. Like, nobody predicted what's happening in Ukraine.
No.
So how can we claim to know things when the biggest events catch us by surprise? So let's focus on, and this is the challenge. If you anticipate the coming of Mashiach, if you really believe that good wins over evil, well, then start being good. Take it from theory to reality.
Golden words, Rabbi Fridman. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, our time is up, but this was a little turbulent, just like the whole world is right now, yet with a lot of rays of sunshine, which you bring to our airways every single week, and that is absolutely priceless, and I cannot express the amount of gratitude for all this positivity and hope that you are giving us on a weekly basis, and for those who still might not know, on daily basis on your YouTube channel and during your classes. Thank you so much. This is amazing. Really, really appreciate your time, and very grateful to you for allowing us to stay strong and positive through thick and thin.
Well, let me quickly give you an example.
Sure.
What is happening in the Supreme Court concerning abortion? I don't know. It's completely, it came as a surprise. It'll continue to surprise us. I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But fewer abortions is a good thing or not? Let's cut to the chase. You know what I mean?
Rabbi Fridman, those who are opposing the abortions, I mean, I see those people. You know what? I'm sorry to say, it makes me question the people who are against. I think, in general, as a concept, yes, abortion is a terrible thing, unless there is a reason for it, like saving a life of a mother or other circumstances. But the people who are fighting very hard for rights to abortion, the way they're fighting, the way they're acting, I'm not so, I don't know, maybe we should be very considerate of their rights and feelings, because do we really want all these people to recreate and procreate? I know it's not up to us. I'm just expressing my opinion. I'm sorry, I have to be honest.
Yes. But really, to say more abortion is better, the more abortions, the better the world will be. Are we totally morally bankrupt?
43 million abortions were made worldwide. If those numbers are correct, if that's the truth, which we don't really know for sure anymore anywhere, but last year alone, 43 million abortions worldwide were performed.
And is it true that if we can prevent even one abortion, if there was one abortion less, would that not be a great, wonderful moral victory?
Moral for sure, yeah.
Yes. So when it comes to morality, we don't need to be confused. The rest of the world, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So we should all be in favor of limited abortions. Will it stop abortions? That's not even the question. The question is, would fewer abortions be a good thing? Identify the goodness, identify the morality, and then we'll see what we can do about it. But to say you can't stop abortions, yeah, and you can't stop terrorists. So, yeah, we are moral people, and that's all we're good at. And the only thing we're good at is being good.
We need a lot more of that, Rabbi Fridman. We need a lot more goodness these days. Hopefully, it'll be here right now, and whatever we can do, each one of us, may we have the strength and the wisdom to do it. Rabbi Fridman, again, thank you so much. Thank you for every second you spent with us. It's priceless. Have a wonderful week, and so looking forward to next week. Thank God it's Tuesday.
With good news.
Аминь. Большое спасибо всем, кто сейчас нас слушал. Рабби Фридмана можно найти на YouTube-канале. Там действительно очень много мудрости, позитивности, света и добра. Если нужно подпитываться, находите раввина Маниса Фридмана. Я это делаю с достаточной частотой, и это очень помогает, несмотря на то, что все становится все сложнее и сложнее. Но давайте оставим наш разговор на позитивной ноте. Всем всего самого хорошего, держитесь, помогайте друг другу, улыбайтесь друг другу, радуйтесь хорошей погоде, и всего самого доброго до следующей недели.
WWPR 105.1